Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Racha HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Racha HaKodash, Barak Adam. It's the brother Kazah coming back at it again with another lesson. All right, and the title of this lesson is going to be the FBI raids Donald Trump's house, all right, or residence, for that matter. All right, and as things unfold, as time progresses, we're getting closer to, being out of this kingdom. You see Yahweh Shemi Shai, hitting this place on all angles. Especially, you see the prophecies, manifesting themselves, man. Now you have a former president's house, being getting raided, by the same government that had him, as president, man. And what does that tell you? It tells you that this house, it's like that this devil is divided amongst himself. So how shall his kingdom stand, right? And the answer is his kingdom won't stand. His kingdom is on its way out, all right? And ours is about to begin. So let's get into it, all right? So it says the former U.S. president says Mar-a-Lago resort was occupied by federal agents. FBI agents raided Donald Trump's residence in Mar-a-Lago, Florida on Monday in a move the former U.S. president called politically motivated persecution. All right, so you got, political persecution going on now. You know what I'm saying? Because he, I guess he represents the right wing, and then you got the left wing. I guess they at each other's throats now. And this is gonna bring about, this is gonna further bring about, that civil war, man. Because the same way we see this. And we, see it as the news, you got, them right wing, Edomites that see this and they don't know what time it is, man. Which that's what they always been trying to, usher in and push, is that, civil war and, reset Babylon, basically. But there is no healing of this place, man. You know what I'm saying? All they gonna do is just gonna get, subdued by, martial law and things of that nature, man. It's really to no avail because it's Yahweh Shemi Hawashai that wants this place to be destroyed. And the funny thing is a lot of these, dudes, they say they Christians, but they worship they know not what, man. You know what I'm saying? Which, they worship that Caesarea Borgia. That's what they, picture in their minds every time, they get on their knees to pray, under that names, sweet Jesus. But ultimately, man, the book that they, so vehemently, claim that they are under, which is the Holy Bible, the scriptures. All right, the power of the power of Israel, all right, is not for Babylon, man. Okay, he's not for this place to continue on. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is getting ready to destroy America. All right, so continuing on, and it reads, all right, while the Justice Department has not officially commented on the operation yet, several major U.S. news outlets reported the raid may have been related to boxes of classified documents Trump took with him from the White House, citing a person's affair. It's like if persons familiar with the matter. All right, so I guess he, made off with some, classified documents. It don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? All that matters is that there's tensions brewing amongst these, Babylonians, man. Continuing on, and it reads, these are dark times for our nations as my beautiful home. Also, this is what he says. All right, these are dark times for our nation as my beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. And this is something that he said, Trump said in a statement released around 7 p.m. local time on Monday, adding that nothing like this has ever happened to a president of the United States before. And that's why this is a big deal, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when in U.S. history, all right, did a former president's house get raided by the FBI? This is monumental, all right, because it shows that these devils are divided against themselves. And that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is doing. That this is what Yahweh Shem Yahushai is doing, is causing that division in this devil's house, because he's on his way out, man. All right, continuing on, and it reads, according to Trump, The raid was unannounced, and the agents even broke into my safe. Hey. He called the operation not necessary or appropriate, branding it as a weaponization of the justice system by Democrats who desperately don't want him to run for president in 2024. So, you see they making, they little moves on him. You know what I mean? But, hey, man, I'm going to say it like this, too. Hey, if the former president can get it, how much more you tribes, man? You know what I'm saying? Esau about to, trying to roll on himself, over politics. How much more you tribes, man? You really think this devil has your best interests at heart? Hell no. This devil wants to completely destroy you, man. Lower the earth population to 550 million. You think you're going to be among those 550 millions? No, man. You know what I'm saying? Continuing on, and it reads. All right, continuing on, and it reads, the next paragraph, I was about to read the former paragraph. I already read that. All right, but it says, what is the difference between this and Watergate? Trump asked, referring to the 1972 break-in at a Democratic National Committee office in Washington. The scandal eventually forced President Richard Nixon to resign. All right, so I guess that's an event that happened, in 1972. I'm not, familiar with it. All right, so continuing on in the reads, the New York Times confirmed that the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, but said that Trump was not there at the time. All right, so if Trump was there, he probably would have been apprehended. You know what I'm saying? And this is the crazy thing, even though, Esau is moving amongst himself, this goes to show you the hypocrisy of this devil and the fact that, when it comes to persecuting Jake, and getting Jake, he makes sure Jake's is off the street. You know what I'm saying? This is just another, example of how these devils don't deal among themselves, how they deal, with the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. How is Donald Trump still free and his house is being raided? But anyways, continuing on, and it reads, all right, the search took place on, let me see. Yeah, okay. The search took place on Monday morning, and the outlet claimed, citing anonymous sources. The same sources suggested that it was about 15 boxes of materials, including many pages of classified documents that Trump took with him after leaving the White House in January 2021. All right, so, hey, man, whatever information is inside them classified documents, that he took with him, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it could pose a, you know what I'm saying? It's it's something that they, decided to do this over. All right, and ultimately, man, you know what I'm saying? They see Donald Trump as a leader of the right wingers, and ultimately, man, if it were, something was to pop off, this dude would definitely be, leading, them, right wing Edomites, man. And another thing too, we don't really get, in a politics, you know what I'm saying? The only time, politics is brought up in his knowledge is when, the things like this are happening, to where they're, banging against each other like this, Hey, man, to send a FBI, raid on the former president's house, man, that's, monumental. But that's also a testament of the division in the houses of these devils, man. And it's also, further proof that, this devil is on his way out, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, continuing on, and it reads, all right, a White House official told CNN it was not notified about the search. While the former president's statements did not mention any materials, he did bring up the facts that Hillary Clinton, as a former first lady of the U.S., had taken antique furniture and other items of the White House and was not prosecuted for deleting over 300 30,000 emails, even after they were subpoenaed. I don't know what that word means. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, and I think these emails is regarding the the emails that WikiLeaks leaked out there. A lot of them emails is referring to an event called Pizzagate, man, where it was a whole pedophile ring that was basically exposed. And at the forefront of this pedophile ring, it was these politicians that was behind all that, man. But here they are, they still free amongst themselves, because they are, these devils, man, they hold themselves not guilty, man. You know what I'm saying? But we are witnessing and we are seeing that these devils, man, they You know what I'm saying? They are against each other now. You know, whether, and another thing too, you know, it's also a possibility, you know, a big possibility for that matter, that, you know, Donald Trump is a puppet, man. You know, another puppet. You know, he's set to, you know, rile up the you know, the lower class, you know, Edomites that's on the right wing, that, you know, want to keep this place going, keep it, you know, the way it was, and, you know, since the old times. You know what I'm saying? You know, that could be another thing too. You know, hence why he's, you know, out now. You know, hence why he's, you know, walking around, you know, talking this ish. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you're gonna have a lot of, you know, people in you know, a lot of, you know, lower level Edomites that's gonna get, you know, stirred up and roused up over this, man. You know, so who knows what might, you know, transpire in the next few days. You know, all we know, you know, through the spirit is that this devil, you know, is that civil war is brewing up, man. You know, I could say that for a fact. All right, so let's continue on. Let me see. All right, so continuing on, you know, we're just gonna finish up the article. All right, it says he accused the U.S. establishment, all three branches of government that are currently led by Democrats, of hating him and trying to stop him and the Republican Party with lawlessness, political persecution, and a witch hunt. All right, so hey, man, that's a clear, you know, indication of the division that's in Esau's house. All right, it's just funny because it's the White House, you know, which is nothing white about this devil, man. He's red. All right, but anyways, continuing on, and it says one of the authors of the NYT article was Maggie Haberman. Man, I hope this ain't no miscellaneous stuff. I'm gonna just skim through it real quick. Let me see. Government documents, and I mean, yeah, this is all, you know what I'm saying. You know, this is all, you know, miscellaneous. You know, it doesn't really, you know, it's not really important, except for the last part where it says Haberman was the reporter mentioned as a friendly journalist by Hillary Clinton's, you know, 2016's presidential campaign staff, according to the emails from the team manager John Podesta, published by WikiLeaks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, that's, you know, something that actually happened, you know, back then, you know, a Pizzagate thing, you know, pedophile ring that was exposed, you know. But other than that, you know, that's it on that. So let's hit the scriptures, man. Let's see what was gonna happen, you know, with these devils, man. All right, so the book of Isaiah chapter 19 verse 1. All right, and I'm gonna start from the top. All right, and it reads, the burden of Egypt, behold. All right, now another thing too, you know, before I, you know, get into the rest of the verse, you know, and also, you know, leading up to the key point. All right, you go to the word burden. You know, it basically means the prophecy. You know, the prophecy of Egypt. Now, you know, we solidified many times in the past that Egypt, you know, when it's written of in these, you know, prophetic books such as Isaiah, Jeremiah, you know, Ezekiel, you know, concerning prophecy. You know, the Lord has you know, the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, has a byword, meaning a nickname for America. All right, he actually has many nicknames. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got the land of the north. You know, you got Babylon, right, and then you have Egypt. All right, it's also, you know, written of in Revelations. You know, particularly Revelations chapter 11. You know, it says a great city which was, you know, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right, so that's the indicator that this is talking about that great city, and that great city is America. All right, Babylon. All right, so continuing on, and it says, behold, the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai rideth upon a swift cloud. All right, it's like, and another thing too, you know, I got a little bit too ahead of myself. All right, so the first line, you know, the first sentence is really saying the prophecy of America. All right, so now let's get into it. It says, behold, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. All right, so that's going into the second coming of Yahushai, man. When the missiles is flying, then, you know what I'm saying, and the elect is being beamed up. How are they gonna get beamed up? Through the clouds, the so-called UFOs. All right, and then after, you know, they get beamed up and the missiles are hitting, you know, this place, they're gonna be shooting the laser the laser beams, and amplifying this fire. Okay, continue on, and it says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, because of the, you know, nuclear explosions, you know, nuclear missiles hitting this place, all that heat that's being generated off that, and then also combined with the laser beams, man. We're just gonna amplify, the flames, man. All right, so verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right, so this is, before, the nuclear destruction takes place. All right, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, well, it says in the past tense, it says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right, so this was written in the past. It's saying in the future, he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Now, like I said, this ain't dealing with the ancient Egyptians. It's talking about America. All right, so it's basically, translation is saying, I will set the Americans against the Americans. All right, because nothing is new under the sun, man. America is basically, the revamped version of the Roman Empire. And what did they have in the Roman Empire? They had their different politics, man. They had their little political parties that were against each other. You had the patricians, and which represented the higher class people, and then you had the plebeians, which represented the lower class people. A bunch very like the same today. You got the Republicans and you got the Democrats, man. You know what I'm saying? So now, we're seeing the same thing, play out once again, because nothing is new under the sun, man. All right. Except this time, this kingdom, is not going to be healed, man. Rome is not going to come back. They're not going to come back up the ashes as a phoenix, man. No, they're going to get put into the pits, man. All these, these politicians, man, they might be destroyed by the nuclear missiles, man. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be them elites, them super elites, them Rothschilds, the different banking families, and those that serve them. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be in the pits. You may have a high level, American Babylonian politicians amongst them. That part, you know what I'm saying, I'm not too sure about. You might have a few of them in there. You know what I'm saying? That will end up in slavery. But for the most part, man, these dudes is just, they just there to keep the amphitheater going. The political, facade going. They don't really play a key role in the grand scheme of things, because all they are at the end of the day is a puppet, man. Okay, and what they doing right now is, they basically, ushering in, a civil war. Amongst the many things they're also ushering in. But that's in order to create that order out of chaos. All right, which goes back to that Hegel dialectus, order ab chaos. All right, so they could set in their new enterprise. All right, but continuing on, and I'll read it from the top again. Not from the top, but verse 2 again. All right, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so this is the division that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, is putting on the whole world, man. It says they shall fight everyone against his neighbor, and everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. Because it's going to be so many plagues, so many calamities that's going to happen here, that people is going to be in a super desperate state of mind. They're going to be looting and going into each other, man. That's like on the small, spectrum, but when you go a little bit higher in the hierarchy, then you're going to have full-blown civil wars, man. In the midst of all this going on, you're going to have, full-blown civil wars. You're going to have, patriotic, gun-ho Edomite militias that's been in formation, for decades now, and these are all, the things that, all these things, ultimately come together for judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be, they're going to be, running amok, doing what they do. And, whoever gets, hit by them, that's going to be their judgment, man. That's why the scripture says that Yahweh Hashem Shai is bringing the sword as well. That's why, the sword is included in the plagues that, we read of in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15. All right, grab that real quick. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 5. All right, where it says, behold, said Yahweh Hashem Shai, I'll bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right, so you see the sword being included right there, man, because the sword, it goes into, martial law. It goes into the government, the Esau, coming down with great wrath, but also too on smaller levels, you got these militias. You got the gangs and whatever, factions that's gonna, come up after all hell breaks loose. You know, people gonna be on some straight up modern day, barbarian type of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be, people that get put down, by guns and weapons is gonna, fall under this category of plagues. All right. So continuing on, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna go to let me see, devil, Satan, kingdom. All right, let me see. There we go. All right, and no, I'm not looking up no crazy ass Satan kingdom, man. It's just to, further find, the precept. All right, so this is, in the midst of, Yahushua, he just casted out, he just performed an exorcism, on somebody, and then, you had on the sidelines, them hating ass Pharisees, man. They saying that, they trying to discredit him and say that he, is doing these things by spiritual demon Satan, man. He's doing, he's casting out demons by the help of demons, So this is what transpires through that. All right. So Matthew chapter 12, verse 24. And it reads, but when the Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. All right. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Okay. And that's what's playing out here in Babylon, man. All right. Babylon will be brought to desolation. Okay. It will be brought, and it's going to be even further than desolation, man. This place is going to be as Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. And if verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right. So this goes back to, the topic here. If Esau, if one group of Edomites is sending, FBI raids to the head of another group of Edomites, what does that tell you? It tells you that this whole government is divided amongst themselves, man. All right. And the civil war is imminent. You know what I'm saying? The civil war is imminent. This is going to further, increase tensions amongst Babylonians, in the political spectrum. All right. So don't be surprised, marvel not if you see an actual civil war break out here in Babylon, man. All right. Because at the end of the day, it was all foretold. Okay. And everything that's, playing out is playing out perfectly according to plan. All things work together for the good of them that love Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All these things is coming together to sink down this kingdom, this land of our captivity. All right, this land of our punishment. All right, so that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Lord willing, we're of the elect, could take us out of this land and put us back into our own land. Where we could be the first fruits of the kingdom. All right, so hey man, with that I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Ba'Hashem Rachah HaKodash for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Or willing this lesson was edifying. And to the Akim out there, all right, with that I'm going to say shalom. On to the next.